Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Nice to
Hello.
see you all. So that's the latest AMA. Let's speak about the end of episode 4 and the beginning of the episode 5. A lot of new informations to share. Maybe Sébastien, you want to start?
Yeah, okay. So first, as a reminder, the goal of the testnet is to test the performance and the security of our protocol in real condition with thousands of nodes. So that's why you're helping us. That's why we will reward you with real Massa coins later. So we do one episode per month. In episode 3 in October, we reach 3,000 nodes and a transaction throughput of 100 transactions per second. And in the last episode in November, here are the latest figure. Vince, do
I will
you
show you the
share
latest
the...
figures. Here it is.
Okay, so here you can see in blue, it's the number of stakers during the month. So I started to log this on November 11 when we started scoring until November 30. So at the beginning, we were already at about 1,000 nodes, and we reached 4,000 nodes on November 23. So it's a new record. It's impressive. And but then I started to increase, to test even more the performance and increase the number of transactions per second. So here in orange, you can see the number of transactions per second that we create to test the performance. We put 200 most of the time, so it's flat for the beginning. And around November 23, I increased it by step by step. I think we reached 600 transactions per second towards the end. But this made the CPU usage, CPU consumption increase together with the throughput because there were more transactions to process. So in red, you can see the CPU usage of my computer. It's a percentage of one core. So most of the time, it's around 20% of one core. When I restart the node, I bootstrap again, we have less peers, so sometimes you can see it drops and come back. And on November 23, you can see it increase slightly with the number of transactions per second. And that's when also we started to see more block misses. So when there is a hole in the exploiter in the blocks, you see someone didn't produce its blocks. That's the green curve. When it's not 100% at the top, it's because we were missing some blocks. So it was around 90% at that time. So we lost about 1,000 or 2,000 nodes in 1 week when we increased towards 500 or 600 transactions per second, mostly because those maybe 2,000 nodes didn't have enough hardware. So those were probably one or two virtual CPU on a cloud platform. We'll tell you more about the requirements later, but the idea is that those with a very good computer, they stayed with until the end. Those with lower specifications, they died, so that their rods were sold because they were not producing the blocks.
And I think actually we can see that compared to the previous episodes, like more and more nodes are like surviving every time you increase the number of transactions per second, because I mean, like almost half of them survived until the end, right?
Yes, exactly. Whereas in previous episodes, we were less than 1,000 at the end when I increased to a few hundred transactions.
Quality of the nodes is improving.
So we basically did not manage to break the system.
Nice.
Yeah. And so this is helpful also to decide how many transactions we will put in the next episode. So you can see that with around 400 transactions per second, it's still stable with maybe maybe 3,000 nodes. So I think we will put 400 transactions per second in next episode. So a few nodes may need to upgrade their hardware. And yeah, we will keep going up like this each month after month to test the performance. And we'll have also attacks. So we will start little by little to implement attacks on the network to try to break the system. And if you want, this flooding with transactions is a kind of attack. So that's why we want to do it for the full month to get people prepared for this kind of attack. And in next episodes, we will probably do other kinds of stress tests.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it for episode 4. Maybe Damir, you can introduce the next episode.
Yes, so while you people were running the nodes on Testnet 4, especially 4.2, you realized that the performance massively improved, especially in 4.2. That is because we optimized one thing that made a massive 20% improvement, which was removing the on-disk storage of old blocks. So now we are working fully in RAM. But this had, this was a very big performance improvement. However, it had a secondary effect to make the system slightly more sensitive to network disconnection. So many of you realized that even if they were disconnected from the internet for maybe a minute, they would lose their roles. And this was patched. We patched it by increasing the number of blocks that are kept, that are final and that are still kept, but in RAM, so not on disk. So we keep the performance improvement while removing the disconnects for episode 5. And we also identified another bug, which was in the bootstrap process. We realized that there were 2 bugs there. So first of all, because now we changed the method and decided to keep more blocks in RAM, we realized that we were sending too many blocks when we bootstrapped. There were many blocks that were not useful for bootstrap that were being sent. And we decided to correct that, so we patched these for version 5. Now the bootstrap volume is much lower. And second thing that also caused bootstrap problems is that the way we pre-allocated memory in some of the bootstrap processes was way overestimated. So sometimes towards the end of the episode, people would not be able to bootstrap because their node wanted to allocate 5 gigabytes of RAM. That was corrected as well. And for those who saw the messages, I even sent a little patch to people who wanted to try it already. And these will be available in version 5. Then, after a vote from the community, we also decided to switch to GitHub. So we used to work with GitLab, now we are on GitHub. So we are going to announce all the new links, all the new tutorials, everything would be on GitHub now. It doesn't change anything fundamentally, but people seem to prefer this platform through votes. That's why we did it.
I have a question actually also, maybe you can precise, but will the GitLab stay updated?
Okay, the GitLab will be archived. It will not be updated anymore. For now, it's still available because we're still in the transition phase. But every new push, every new activity is going to happen on the GitHub, and the old GitLab will be archived. Then from the point of view of improvements, we also improved the UI a bit, and we also did a lot of performance analysis and improved performance on a lot of points. Now, the groundwork that happened during this phase was also preparing for the ground for the next smart contract work. So this is not ready yet, it's a big chunk, but preparing the groundwork was also very, very heavy on us, and it's still going to continue for the next episodes. Smart contracts are not ready yet, but they will be in the next couple episodes as a preview. Yeah, so that's approximately it for the summary of the changes that we made. Of course, you can already look at the GitHub, and you'll see that there's a lot of smaller changes there. We also optimized the workflow. We want to make the project more welcoming to people who want to participate, to help us develop it. That's also part of the transition to GitHub. And I'm going to send you the link. If somebody can send the link of the GitHub in the chat, would be nice.
Yep, I'm going to do that.
We also improved the documentation a lot. So also feel free to check out the documentation. We have a full API documentation. So for all the people who want to build on Massa, around Massa, now there's a full documentation of the API that can be used to talk with the nodes. It's been already used by some people who are building some clients. I know that some people have started working on a mobile client for Massa. Some people started working on explorers, on automatic systems to quantify the health of a node. There's a lot of work being done there, and we also welcome feedback on the quality of the API and what can be improved.
And I think some people start to ask when is going to happen the episode 5 as well.
Oh, episode 5 is going to happen in 4 minutes. Exactly. So in 4 minutes, we're going to show you live what's going to happen. And I'm going to explain at the same time everything that's happening on screen so that you guys have an idea of what's happening in real time. What do you see when you go on test.massa.net?
I'd also, just before you launch and we showcase it, I just wanted to congratulate also like the people who have like already 120 points for now. So there are like 14 of them. It means that they didn't miss a single point since the beginning of the Testnet launch. So we just wanted to congratulate them. So as you can see, 14 of them. But we see, I mean, even if you don't have 120 points, we see that a lot of nodes are like from very good quality and so on. So yeah.
Yeah,
that
good
was
job,
just,
guys.
Yeah, very good job. Very good job.
Didn't
So,
manage, actually.
there is no ranking here. I mean, you are all the same level. So yeah, very good job.
Yeah. Thank you, Vince. Oh, is Damir Russian? No, I'm not Russian, but I was born in Yugoslavia, actually. So yeah,
we are going to be ready in 3 minutes, so that's why everyone is like, whoa.
Yeah, and Vince, if you can send the link to the API that
I sent as well the link already in the different chats.
Okay.
So now everyone can see up. So yeah.
The testnet is starting in 2 minutes, but don't worry for the scoring. It will start, I think, in 3 days. We will announce it. And
you can notice as well that this time we launch the testnet exactly at the beginning of the month and the scoring way earlier. So the episode is going to be longer than the previous episodes in terms of running your node and improving the network.
If you look at the Discord channel, the leaderboard Discord channel, you can see the top 50 for the one that was asking about the top 20.
Actually, that's the top for one episode. I think he was asking globally.
Globally.
And share your screen, Damir.
Yes. So here is the testnet live. It's going to start like the first Genesis blocks are planned for like in 1 minute from now. So first of all, what you can see, the horizontal lines here under the multi-threaded block DAG are actually the threads, because Massa is multi-threaded. We allow people to create blocks in parallel, contrary to, for example, Bitcoin, where people have to wait for the previous block to propagate to be able to create a new one. Here you'll see that we have 32 threads, and people are allowed to create blocks in parallel in multi-threads. And below, you can see the current statistics. So we display the testnet version. The start time is the time where the start is planned locally. So don't focus on the 5 o'clock here. That's French time.
10 seconds.
From my point of view, 10 seconds. We also display the transaction throughput, the number of clicks. That's the equivalent of the number of parallel chains in Bitcoin.
Now.
And here we go. So the blocks you see appearing here are all Genesis blocks for now. Because we have 32 threads, we don't have one genesis blocks, we have 32 of them. And the green color means that they are final, that they will never change. The blue color means that they are still active. They're still, they can still potentially change, but the probability that it happens grows down exponentially as time passes. Now, the little lines that you see appearing when a block appears are the parents of the block, because we don't want all these chains to be completely unlinked, to be completely independent. They are linked together because every block has exactly one parent per thread. Every block has 32 parents. So that's one big difference with other chains like Bitcoin, for example. So now I think you understand better the idea. Of course, there are some challenges in having such an architecture. For example, what happens if we allow people to create blocks in parallel? What happens if two people try to spend the same coins in two parallel threads? And this is solved in our case by looking at the first bits of the spending address and allowing transactions that spend coins from a given address to only be included in blocks that belong to the thread indexed by the first bits of the spending address. And of course, it's not because you spend only in a given thread that you cannot credit other addresses. All these transactions can send coins to any other thread. That way, we ensure that spending is fully synchronous within one thread. However, receiving coins is fully asynchronous. There's no ordering, and it doesn't matter. And that's how we optimize things. And
maybe
now,
you can also explain later what is a small orange dot that people see.
Yes. So what happened here is that somebody joined, and looks like they joined with two different nodes staking on the same address. So orange means that it's not part of the main chain, but that it's still not final. And it's soon going, the orange ones should become red soon. Red means that it's been discarded. You can imagine it as a fork. And red means that the fork was not successful and the blocks were discarded. And so here, this happens, for example, if people have two nodes running with the same staking address.
Maybe you can show by clicking on the block that we can see that it's the same creator.
Yeah, sure. Here. So here there's more of them. For example, if I check the blocks here. Yeah. I think the screen capture prevents me from clicking. It's pretty terrible. Sorry, guys. So basically, the idea is that the two blocks here that are in parallel have been created by the same person, and this for now is okay. It's fully well managed by the system. But in the future, it's going to result in slashing. So if somebody is selected to create one block and creates multiple blocks, they're going to lose their roles. For now, it's not the case, but it's going to be added in the future.
It was actually one of the questions of the community today. So what were going to be the penalties and so on? So also questions about slashing. But so therefore, I think we can say it. So yes, in the future there will be slashing for people who try to create multiple blocks.
Yes. So for people who create multiple blocks or multiple endorsements of the same block, there's going to be basically slashing, which means that they're going to lose their roles. So not only lose their roles as they do now, which means that they get reimbursed, but lose the roles and not get reimbursed by the coins. So it's going to be a full slashing for people who double stake. That's the idea.
So okay, people are not going to be happy at the beginning when they discover what is slashing.
I mean, the idea is that they are aware that they should not double stake right away.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, maybe also we can have. Do you have like more things you want to add? Maybe about the episode 5.
Well, for episode 5, I kind of summarized the list of changes that are happening. But the main work will be around smart contracts and performance improvements. So don't expect smart contracts right in episode 5. It's not ready yet, but we are making big progress on them, and we're going to tell you more about it a bit later.
Nice. Maybe Adrien, well, I will share a slide. So maybe Adrien, you can give a few words also about that.
Yeah, sure. So we, as we described in a post on Medium, we finished our private sale last month. It was completely successful. It was completely subscribed with all the tokens that we wanted to sell. So the total amount raised is about 5 million euros. And as our philosophy is to be as decentralized as possible, we try to do also a private sale where there was many actors, not a single one taking all the pool. But and I think it's very well illustrated by these numbers. We have like more than 100 backers from 18 different countries. So there is no single entity that own a large portion of the coins. And we are very happy also with all the people that participated. We have also big names in the community, so very confident for the future of the network. So if you want to have more details, of course, you can have a look at the Medium post. I think Vincent can send it, already
Yes.
send it, but can send it again.
I'm going to send it in the chat right now as well, so everyone can read again. And also we linked like all the informations about the well-known backers and so on. So I mean, you can dig in. So it will be quite interesting. And yeah, and also like actually that's not all, because we have also like other supporters. We just wanted to give them a shout out because like they are supporting us, and some of them also like Odell Gobal on Millennium Club they invested. Also that they help because their communities are like big node runners, like the 5 of them. There are more, so don't hesitate also to send me if you have a community which is like running nodes and so on. To send me your logo and to send me like your Twitter and the details, so I can add you to this list. But yeah, we are like very happy to have them as our supporters as well. So we also wanted to say them thank you, because we never say enough thank you to everyone who is supporting us. So yeah, big shout out to you, all of you guys, and thanks a lot. Maybe also we can explain some few words about the roadmap, Adrien.
Yeah. So like currently, like we are still doing the testnet. Of course, this was the launch of the testnet in July 2021, and we closed our private sale. Currently, we're writing our white paper. We want to publish it in the first months of 2022, and then we want to do our public sale in mid 2022. We don't have for now, we don't have any specific deadlines. We'll keep you updated, of course, but like the main idea is to do it mid 2022, maybe a bit later. It depends a bit on the development, of course. But for now, it's going great. I think we don't have any problem. We are more or less on track. So I think we can be confident that it will be around this date, but we'll keep you updated in every AMA, of course.
And also, well, we are working on the white paper all together. So we have like, I mean, all the information we want to put and so on. So it's more like we are drafting it to make you something beautiful and nice to read. And yeah, and we need to do that also from a regulatory perspective. So I mean, I think it's important that we take care of all the details. I know previously we said it will be more Q4 2021, but we prefer just to postpone it just a bit and publish it at the beginning of 2022. So it's perfect, and that there is not too much iteration between the V0 and the V1.
But maybe to give you a bit more details, we can talk about the technical roadmap to reach the mainnet. like for now, they are like the big challenge that we are tackling now, and maybe Damir can say a few words about it, is smart contracts. I think this is the main work we have done like the last months, and that we are still working towards integrating the first version of smart contract in the testnet. So maybe Damir, you can.
Yes. So we know that we need to add smart contracts to Massa, and we know that Massa is a multi-threaded parallel architecture. So we had to think really carefully about how we can reconcile these two things. And we found a way eventually that allows us to deliver like a complete order of transactions, even in this completely parallel architecture. That's very innovative. Nobody has done something similar before. So now we need to hire more people. And that's what we're doing now. We are on a hiring spree. And we are also working on the smart contract engine, which is going to execute these ordered transactions. And this smart contract engine, we are going towards implementing it in WebAssembly for now. And we did a lot of progress on interfacing it with the consensus system, but it's still not finished. And with also the developer experience, trying to make it accessible to developers who know other languages and that don't have to learn Solidity, for example. So all these are challenges that are mixed together, and we are trying to solve them all at the same time. Of course, for now, it's not ready, but we made significant progress, and we're going to continue to do that. We're going to hire more to go faster. And of course, the next steps are going to be providing you people with a little demonstrator, maybe not in episode 5, but a bit later. We're going to, as we usually do in Massa, publish something quite early that's not necessarily 100% ready, so that you guys can play around, test it, give us feedback, try to build little things on it. It's going to also to be probably incentivized. We need to define exactly how. And all of that is going to be a whole process that's going to last a few episodes before we have something really useful in terms of smart contracts. Also, because it's very unique, we're going to go to allow asynchronous programming. We're going to allow things that have not been done before, and all of that within this framework of a parallel multi-threaded architecture. So it's a lot of research, a lot of trial and error. That's also why it's very hard for us to give us to find an exact timeline on how things are going to unfold, because we are trying things, failing, trying new things, improving, and we also want to improve with you, with your feedback and with your ideas. So thank you all.
Yeah, we had a question like about how to update. Like we'll publish an update on how to switch from GitLab to GitHub on Discord. But you can already download the thing from GitHub if you're familiar with it. But we'll publish. We'll make a post explaining you how to do it.
And
So yeah,
there's another question coming back often is how will be the rewards in Massa coins? So I think I said in the previous lemma, we don't know right now exactly how many tokens, real mainnet Massa tokens you will get from the actual score you get right now. We will inform you towards the end of the Tesnet episodes, a bit before mainnet. So about how many Massa you get per 1 point of score. But the idea is that the better your score, the higher the number of Massa you will get. And there will be a KYC for getting those Massa to ensure that people don't do so many Discord accounts and nodes and get so many rewards for only one person.
Yeah, I think there's been a few other questions that we missed.
yeah. Actually, I can showcase you
Yeah.
some of the questions if you want, or you have one in mind already. I mean,
Oh, I saw a few. Basically, there's one about okay. The maybe I didn't mention the orange blocks means that they're not final yet, but they're not in the main clique. They're not in the main chain, if you want. They're a fork, and they become red just as the blue blocks become green when they're final. Here, the basically the stale when the block becomes stale, they become red, and we throw them away basically. That's the red blocks. There's a question about multi-signature, I think, because it just says multi-sign. We are currently exploring the possibility to switch from SecP 256K1, which is the current signature algorithm we're using, to Schnorr, which will allow multi-signature by design. So that's planned. And of course, the smart contract engine itself will allow multi-signature. Am I running Ubuntu on my laptop? It's not a laptop actually. It's a full computer, but I'm running Ubuntu on it. Yes. Yep. I think that's what I listed.
Okay, I will start to showcase you a couple of questions if you want to answer briefly. I'm not going to showcase them all, so we're going to do a couple of them. So that's kind of the trilemma question.
Okay. So basically, nobody has managed to solve these fully. Like we cannot claim that we have all of them at the same time at 100%. What we aim for here is to keep the system as secure as Bitcoin, let's say, or almost, and to maximize decentralization. The problem was mostly the scaling, because in our case, the system is truly decentralized, and the scaling was the real challenge. And that's also why even the theoretical maximum we can reach, which is 10,000 transactions per second, is still much lower than what other cryptocurrencies currently announce. I don't know, Solana, Avalanche, and these guys. Despite that, thanks to almost 4 years of research, we managed to scale these to a theoretical maximum of 10,000 transactions per second. And we are going to try to reach this theoretical maximum, or at least approach it the most as much as we can, thanks to a lot of improvements in the code. And we are already doing this at every episode. We are increasing the number of transactions per second we are going through the network. We are identifying choke points. We are optimizing the code, and we're going to continue that. We're going to improve the algorithms as well. Everything is going to improve gradually until we reach thousands of transactions per second. That's our goal. But it's not going to be hundreds of thousands, because we cannot have everything at the same time.
Yeah, we have also more background in previous AMA if you want to have a look at it, and also there are resources, a blog post in particular that explains the idea behind the Massa. So if you want to have more details, then feel free to ask on the Discord. I think we answer most of the questions.
And yeah, I will post again. I mean, after each episode, so I post back for also all the newcomers, all the links. So I will send back all the links. Also, with the update for the GitHub and so on. So you can get as many resources as possible. We had also a couple of questions about ecosystem, guys. If you want to answer, so I can showcase a couple of them.
Yeah. So I think that more generally, we understand the importance of building a big ecosystem and making partnerships. So this is one of the questions also that I saw in the chat. So this is one of the main tasks that we are also doing in the meanwhile developing smart contracts. We cannot say give you definite answer about the partnerships, etc. that we already have, but we are building partnerships in domains such as DeFi, gaming, or content creation, and we hope we can announce something very soon, maybe next month. But this is something we are really working hard on, and we really understand the importance of building an ecosystem. So
Yes, and we don't want to have like a big list of partnerships, like some projects, but these partnerships are meaningless. They're not doing anything. We're trying to do something actually useful.
And once will be a bit more developed and the smart contract system will be a bit more developed also, we'll also announce a grant program for people building application in Massa. We really want to have some kind of organic growth and people from the community building things. So this is something we'll announce later, but it's a bit too early to detail it right now.
And I have also a question. I think it's for you, Adrien, because I saw you doing something about that. So maybe you can you can say something about that.
Yeah, this is something that we plan to do. For now, we don't have any browser extension, but we'll develop one to make our own wallet. We cannot use like MetaMask or other extension that because we are developing a new system. In particular, one feature that we want to have in Massa is to have our own website that people can put website directly on chain. Like for now, if you access a DApp, like for example Uniswap or other DApps that people use all the day, you still have to go through a centralized system. You go through a regular website, and this is a single point of failure because this site can be compromised. And what we want to do is to have a system where you can host your website on chain, maybe have some content off chain if you have big pictures or videos, but the main logic of the website would be on chain, and you would be able to access it directly with a plugin that we would ask your node or another node if you don't run a node yourself. But we think it throws like it solves this single point of failure that we've seen that can be a problem. Like for example, if you use MetaMask and Infura had a problem, then you couldn't use the MetaMask anymore. And we think there is a lot of possibilities actually hosting a decentralized website, really truly decentralized website.
Then I have also a couple of questions which are more related, to like the nodes, the hardware, and so on. I will make them like very fast because I mean we answered also some of these questions, not all in the past. So I will like go really briefly through
the common questions that we get.
So I mean this one about Windows 11, so there shouldn't be any trouble. I've been running Node already on episode 4 on Windows 11, so no problem. So I think like I mean the question is answered. So everything which is running on the Windows 8, Windows 10 usually is working on Windows 11. So no worries about that. It will be the same YouTube video as before to run your node. We have also questions about the hardware requirements. Maybe if you can give a word about that.
Actually, we never really changed the announced hardware requirements. They always stayed the same, and we plan to keep the same hardware requirements that are in the FAQ right now. And also, we added them also in the README, in the main README. It's among the first sentences of the README. So the hardware requirements are not going to change for now.
Also, it's hard to give a definite answer. We are still improving the system. Like for now, we use not so much RAM. We plan to have requirements about 16 gigabytes of RAM. For now, it's much lower. So we cannot give a specific answer, but the general philosophy that it runs on that people can run a node at home on a standard desktop computer, so that it's as decentralized as possible because people don't have to rely on centralized services such as AWS or things like that. So we cannot give like the general idea, the standard desktop computer, like something with 8 cores and 16 gigabytes of RAM, but hopefully it can be lower if we manage to optimize the system perfectly. Yeah.
But yeah, in the end, it's a trade-off between the CPU usage and the number of transactions per second that we want to process. So we want you to be able to run it on a standard desktop, like modern desktop computer with 8 cores and 16 gigs of RAM. So if 10,000 transaction is too much for this, I think it's best to do 5,000 transactions per second instead of requiring much more hardware specifications.
Then we have questions about routability and maxim factor. So first, it's not the maxim factor, it's about routability.
Yeah. So on the mainnet, like you don't have to, like even on the testnet, you don't have to be routable, like it's just for points. But this is a very important point because it highlights the importance of having routable node in a decentralized network. Like if nobody is running routable node, then you are at the risk of having a network partition, and you have some nodes that are centralizing every connection. So if you want to have a truly decentralized network, it's important that many nodes are routable. And also from your point of view, if you are not routable on the mainnet, you will be connected to less peers and are more risk of being desynchronized. So like this routability factor that we introduced in the score is to really highlight the importance of being routable, and we think it's not so hard to do in practice, and we really want to encourage people doing so and to do so.
Yeah, the question was cropped actually also is because in some countries also some internet providers are blocking routability.
Yeah. But if you cannot be routable, then it's not really an issue. You can still run a node. You will earn as much points as as much reward, as much taking reward as other in the mainnet. But really, it's important to have a routable node in the network.
Actually, we need a critical mass of routable nodes. Below that, some people are going to start losing connection, basically.
I have then a question. Okay, I was not sure about it, so it was about the maxim factor, and some people were like a bit confused as usual. I mean, it happens often with the maxim factor, and yeah, there were like a question about how many times do you try to see like how far is situated the IP and so on. So I was not sure like about it.
So yeah, let me give a bit more background. So the maxim factor is the score we introduced for exactly what said Adrien, for that people try to be routable. We actually measure. We also measure the diversity of the IP addresses. So because we don't want 1,000 people to run on the same host and another 1,000 to run on Google or 1,000 on Amazon, for instance. We prefer that people get diverse ways of connecting to the network, and the best is that you run at home, of course. So to test this, we try to connect to all the nodes, because you register on Discord, you register your node and your IP address. Then the bot will try to connect to your nodes at every cycle. So I think that's what was asked. We test at each cycle once if your node is routable. Maybe we could do it more, like several per cycle, but in fact, if you are 4,000 nodes, it kind of takes time. So I'm not sure we could do much more than this, because we have to keep the bot running fast. So we'll have a look at it. And to finish, the score is actually depending on the distance between your IP address and the closest IP address, more or less this. So if you have 10 addresses just nearby yours, then you will have around 0 maximum factor. If you're running home and nobody is nearby you, you will have maximum factor.
How many? I mean, so the maximum factor, how many times is it tried to see about the IP? Is it only once? I think that was a question. So
once per cycle.
Okay.
And one cycle is 30 minutes approximately.
So that's it. That was a question.
Yeah.
Also in more details.
You can get 1 maximum point per cycle, and at the end we divide by the number of cycle, and you can get 20 points, a score of 20 for this part in total.
Then we had a question about to give more like updates about the scores more often. So that was just a comment. I'm not sure it's a question.
Okay, we'll see. So you can ask your score by just writing info to the bot. I guess the guy wants to get automatic report, so we'll see what we can do.
Also, there are also Telegram bots that you can use, made by the community. So now we are centralizing all the community resources. So also when we are going to update the links for the GitHub, we'll also showcase more community resources because there are more and more. And indeed, there is also Telegram bot where you can have the state of your score and but you're not.
Yeah, you cannot have your score on the Telegram bots, but if you are always online, this gives you a rough idea of your score. Then your score should be really good.
Then it's a question actually for me. So is the website going to be redesigned? So you don't like our website, guys? I mean, yeah, it was launched a long time ago. You know, it's handmade. So but yeah, it was useful, you know, for the launch and also to have a first version. But I can show you something. So very briefly, so indeed the website is getting redesigned. So all these elements that you see here, actually, I mean the planet and so on are going to be movable. So as well, you can see there is a small update in the logo coming. But yeah, so it's coming. It's coming. The new website will be launched this month. So I hope you are going to enjoy it. That was just a very small sneak peek for you to see. As well, I think this one was more for me. So how to get into the team. So as you know, Massa is recruiting, but for now we are recruiting developers, mostly developers. So you can see the openings on massa.net/jobs.html. So that we added a job page on the Massa website. So I mean, if you see any position that is fitting, feel free to apply. We'll be really happy to take a look. And I mean, we are recruiting actively. Regarding as well more everything which is more marketing, communication, moderator. So right now we have a lot of I would say Massa friends and Massa supporters, which are mostly volunteering. But as well as the community grow, there will be other questions. So right now there is no specific openings in this field, but we will be happy to give you more news when things arrive. And as well also we will launch soon a structured ambassador program. So even if we don't recruit in some of those positions, there will be ways also to earn rewards for all the community work also some people are doing. So we'll be happy to tell you more about this.
I might use the opportunity to just go through the quick questions on the chat.
Yeah.
What's the target transactions per second Massa is aiming at? The theoretical maximum is 10,000. We are going to try for small transactions to get as close as possible to its theoretical maximum. Of course, for larger smart contract transactions, we're going to try to reach about 1,000. That's the order of magnitude we are aiming for. How many people in the Massa team now? About 10 full-time, and we're growing. How long do we know each other for? Well, there's a full page on the team, actually. Maybe Vincent, you can link it.
Yeah.
Okay, on-chain website data storage. Of course, we just dropped it like a bomb right now, but it's going to be a lot more work before we exactly define a specification for this. The global idea is just to be able to host HTML on-chain and to avoid having to rely on external services. A write-up would be nice. There will be a write-up, no worries.
There will be also a new Explorer. It's coming with a new website, maybe not directly, but there will be a new Explorer.
Yeah. how was my trip to the Phantom Developer Conference? Well, it was really nice, and I think we have a lot of learned from this amazing community. They're really nice. No new Explorer, yes, Adrien said, of course, there's going to be a new Explorer. It's being redesigned right now. And yeah.
I think we did most of the question, but yeah, indeed. So yeah, I mean, again, there will be a new Explorer. So I gave you a sneak peek about the new website coming. So the new Explorer, of course, is going to match the design. As you saw previously, the designs were not matching between the website and the Explorer. So right now we can tell you it's going to be like, it's going to be something cool. So I hope you are going to like it. And it will be also a bit something you can kind of play with some cool design. It's coming soon.
Yeah. We need to merge dev with testnet. Actually, it happened today. I merged the main branch of the GitHub towards the testnet branch of the GitHub. So everything is ready. You can already download and participate. It's only the scoring that's going to start in 3 days.
Nice. And we had the last question, and after we're going to wrap it up. So I think Carlo is inviting us for dinner all together in Barcelona. So let's see what is possible to do with COVID. I'm going to check the days and yeah, definitely if we come there, we'll be happy to see you, Carlo. It has been a long time. It's always a pleasure to see you with us, and happy to have you in the Massa family. Okay, maybe if you have a last word to say, guys, or if you want to share some info.
Congratulations to all of you, to people running nodes, and yeah, I wish you a nice episode 5.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you all, and again, I'm really proud of this community. It's growing, and it's nice people. It's really functioning much better than we expected, and we are always positively surprised by all of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very excited to see all the new developments that are coming also. So thank you guys for following us and be participating and for all the questions. It's really nice.
Thank you very much. See you soon. And we will be dropping a small video very soon about Massa. So stay tuned. So it will be also published on YouTube. See you, everyone. Bye bye. Have a good evening.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.